EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game.
What's up, guys? It's JTV Gaming here, and today we have the 5th episode of our Würzburg Road to Glory. And to start this episode off, we will be participating in the European International Cup so that we can earn 2.76 million if we are able to win. The team currently right now is a 2.5 star team, as we have a 71 rated offense, a 69 rated midfield, and a 67 rated defense. Looking at the youth academy, I have decided to invest in this one scout, Stephen Koning, as I feel like we will be able to do very well in the preseason tournament, so we won't have to worry about money. And I will be sending our scouts for these first 3 months to find some technically gifted players from Japan, some defensive-minded players from China, and some physically strong players from Korea. In the preseason, we would, in fact, be able to go on to win it all. Our first big signing of the season will be Michael Bradley. We signed him for $1.9 million, and we were able to use those funds from winning that preseason tournament, so it helped us to do so well in it. We have gone on to sell Max Axelson to Chivalry for $870,000. We have also sold Steinar Rasmussen to El Faya for $690,000. We have also sold Killian Auer to Doncaster for $530,000. We have also sold Fabian Schultz to Livingston for $1.15 million. We've also sold Hagel to Atlas for $530,000. One player that I have decided to loan out is Peter Kaiser, as he will be joining FC Copenhagen for 1 year. We now get into the first game of the season as we host Ingolstadt at the Flyer Alarm Arena. For this game, we will continue to line up in our 4-3-3 holding. We will have Müller in goal. We will have Hemmerich at right back. We will have Bradley and Hintermeyer at center backs with Hathertz at left back. Lubitich will be playing our defensive mid. Sontheimer and Nassi will be our center mids. Krishashvili will be our right wing. Schmidt will be our left wing with Zivkovic up top. Ingolstadt will be lining up in a 4-4-2. In the 81st minute, Ingolstadt are possessing the ball in the middle of the field. We then have a chance to win the ball, however we cannot capitalize. Then Ingolstadt are attacking us very quickly. We again cannot make a tackle. They then get the ball out wide into a dangerous area before it is crossed in and headed into the back of the net as we go down 1-0 in the 84th minute. We would end up losing this game 1-0. It definitely was a game that we could have won, and it honestly should have been a draw. However, we just didn't capitalize on the few opportunities that we had. We now host Hansa Rostock in the first round of the DFB Pokal. We have not made any changes to the starting lineup from our last game. Rostock will be lining up in a 3-4-3. In the 37th minute, we are possessing the ball in their half of the field. Zivkovic plays Lubitich. Lubitich plays Schmidt in behind the defense before he smashes it side netting to put us up 1-0 in the 38th minute. At full time, that goal from Schmidt would be the only goal as we go on to win the game 1-0. We have sold another player as Max Meyer will be joining Waterford FC for $150,000. Nils Hoffman will also be leaving as he will be joining LKS Lodz for $140,000. Hendrik Persson will be going on a 1-year loan to Cracovia. Lawrence Bindhammer will be going on a 1-year loan to our fellow Bundesliga 2 side St. Pauli. I will be promoting a couple of youth players, and the first youth player that we will be promoting is Erik Henriksen. He is a 6'2" defensive-minded right back from Sweden. He is a 60 overall, and he has a potential of 78 to 92. Henriksen is showing great potential, so I do not see him as a crucial player in the future. However, he could be a good backup as he can play right back, left back, and center back. Another player that we are promoting is Alexander Martinsen. He is a 6'6" physically strong center back. He is a 60 overall, and he has a potential of 74 to 92. Martinsen is showing great potential, and I feel like he will be a crucial player for us in the future purely because of his size. Another player that we are promoting is Shen Chang. He is a 6'4" defensive-minded left back from China. He is a 60 overall and he has a potential of 72 to 94. Shen Chang is an exciting prospect and he can play left back or right back, so I definitely plan on keeping him around for a long time. Another player we are promoting is Ryu Himura. He is a 5'11" center forward from Japan who is technically gifted. He is a 60 overall and he has a potential of 81 to 94. Ryu Himura is an exciting prospect, and he can play center forward or striker, so he could possibly be a strike partner to Zivkovic or eventually replace him. Danjuro Ito will also be joining us as he is a 5'8" playmaking center mid from Japan. He is a 61 overall with a potential of 70 to 90. Ito is only showing great potential, however he can play defensive mid, so I may keep him as he could be a good offensive option for us if we need it late in the game. Another player we are promoting is Hong Gil Cho. He is a 6'2" physically strong center back from South Korea. He is a 63 overall with a potential of 70 to 94. He is showing great potential and he can play center back or defensive mid, so he could be a good utility player for us in the future, so I do plan on keeping him. We now finally return into some game action as we go to face SV Wehen. Wehen will be lining up in a 5-4-1 diamond. We are going to continue to not make any changes to our starting lineup as we have been doing well so far this season. This game would end up finishing 0-0. It was a very boring game. Both teams had chances, however neither team was just able to capitalize. One player that we are going to be selling is Ike Meyer. He will be joining Waterford FC for $130,000. One player we will be loaning out is Luke Decker. He will be joining Fulham for the rest of the season, as he is not high enough overall to be consistently playing, and I do not want to harm his potential. One player that we will be promoting is Song Soo Oh. He is a 6-foot defensive-minded right back from South Korea. He is a 60 overall, and he has a potential of 75 to 94. Oh does have great potential, and he can play right back or left back, so he may stay with us and he may not. We will just have to wait and see. Lucas Bader is a player who has now become a 60 overall, so we can see that he is showing great potential. However, I do feel like we will sell him as he has no redeeming qualities. We do have a little bit of bad news as Marvin Backer, one of our youth players who I've been looking to incorporate in the first team, has torn his calf muscle and he will be out for 6 weeks. Another player we're selling is Disha Sundram. He was the player that the game assigned to us last season whenever we did not have enough players, and he will be joining AC Horsens for $115,000. Another player we are promoting is Akira Kawakami. He is a 5'7" technically gifted attacking mid from Japan. He is a 63 overall with a potential of 76 to 94. A fantastic surprise for us is that Kawakami has potential to be special. However, he does have 1-star skill moves and 1-star weak foot. That could be an issue. However, I feel like his overall quality will pay off in the end. The final player that we are going to be promoting right now is Run Ming Lang. He is a 6'2" defensive-minded defensive mid from China. He is a 62 overall with a potential of 66 to 90. Liang is not showing even great potential, so we will most likely be selling him in the transfer window. Now that our scouts have returned from their first 3 months, I've decided to send them back out, and I will be having one scout going to Belgium to find some playmakers, another going to Germany to find some attackers, and the final scout going to the Netherlands to find some technically gifted players. We have some transfer news as Shen Chang will be joining Cosenza on a short loan for the rest of the season. Runming Lang, the player that we just promoted, we have already sold him for $660,000 to Al Faya. We now return to some game action as we host VfL Onsenbroek at the Flyer Alarm Arena. For this game, I have made a couple of changes as Nassi is out injured, so I've moved Krishavili back to center mid. We'll have Schmidt moving over to the right wing, and we'll have Vogel going at left wing. Onsenbroek will be lining up in a 4-2-3-1. We are definitely going to have to watch out for their striker, Aguirre. In the 11th minute, their goalkeeper has the ball. He punts it long. We are able to win the ball back, and we immediately look to slow the game down and possess the ball a little bit. We then turn it over almost immediately afterwards, and then Unsenbrook are on the counterattack. The ball gets into Aguirre. Michael Bradley is just not fast enough to cover him, and he is then able to put it past Mueller and Bradley to put Unsenbrook up 1-0. In the 26th minute, the ball gets punted long. We end up losing the ball. We then look to get the ball back, however Michael Bradley is again out of position and does not win the ball. They then take advantage of our team being out of position as they look to possess the ball inside our box. They then get the ball out wide. Their player then crosses it into the box. Mueller punches the first attempt away. The ball then kindly falls to their striker, who is just able to head it past Mueller as we go down 2-0 in the 29th minute. In the 37th minute, we have the ball in our attacking third. Zivkovic's first attempt does not go. We then just look to simply pass the ball around. The ball then gets played in behind for Vogel. Vogel dribbles into their box. He cuts it back to Zivkovic. It does not go as they clear it away. It then gets played into Sontheimer, who plays Lubicic, who plays Krishashvili. Krishashvili then continues to dribble around multiple players before nutmegging a player and putting it past the keeper to make the score now 2-1 in the 40th minute. At full time, we would unfortunately lose this game 2-1. We now have a game against the biggest opposition we've ever faced as we host Borussia Dortmund in the second round of the DFB Pokal. For this game, we have returned to our original starting lineup. The only change I've made is I have switched Schmidt and Krishashvili on the wings. Borussia Dortmund will be lining up in a 3-4-2-1. They have Soria in goal, Hummels, Matip, and Umtiti at center backs, Brandt and Cayenne at center mids, Sancho and Son at outside mids, Sahavi and Depay at forwards, with Poulsen at striker. We definitely are going to need some luck if we're able to win this game. In the 4th minute of the game, we earned an early corner as Sontheimer crosses it in. Lubicic is able to win the header and head the ball into the back of the net as we go up 1-0 in the 4th minute very early on in the game. In the 14th minute, Mueller has the ball. We then look to build it out from the back. We're able to do so as Borussia Dortmund really aren't applying any pressure. We are able to get the ball into Zivkovic before we look to swing it out wide to Krishashvili. Krishashvili gets around the defender. He then is in the box. He then crosses it in, and his cross is cleared away. However, we get the ball right back immediately afterwards. Schmidt gets the ball from Lubicic. He shoots it does not go. Then he then recovers it and crosses it into Sontheimer, who puts it into the back of the net to put us up 2-0 in the 18th minute. In the 59th minute, Borussia Dortmund have a free kick. They boot it up top. Their striker is able to win the ball. The ball then gets played into Mario Icardi, who just came on. Ball played into Hintermeyer, but however he loses the ball right away to Icardi. We are then going to quickly counterattack before Depay gets the ball and smashes it into the back of the net to make the score now 2-1 in the 61st minute. In the 71st minute, Krishashvili had a chance on goal, but the keeper is able to save it. He then is able to boot the ball up top. We again lose the aerial duel. Borussia Dortmund then look to come right down our throats. They're able to swing the ball out wide to Jadon Sancho, who flicks it onto Poulsen. He then crosses it into the box to a wide open Son as the Borussia Dortmund tie the game up at 2-2 in the 74th minute. After 90 minutes, we are currently tied at 2-2, meaning we will now go into extra time. In the 116th minute, Borussia Dortmund have the ball in our attacking third. We miss one tackle. Depay then absolutely rips a banger to score the third goal for Borussia Dortmund as we are now down 3-2 in the 117th minute. At full time, we would end up losing 3-2. However, considering we are a second tier side and Borussia Dortmund are one of the top tiers in the German football, I consider this a win. Just a couple of games after that Borussia Dortmund game, we got some bad news as Michael Bradley tore his quadricep muscle and he's going to be out for 3 months. Himura, I've decided to loan out for the rest of the season once the transfer window opens to Gamba Osaka. One player that we have sold is Urs Schaller to Sarpsborg 08FF for $620,000. Ralf Schneider will also be leaving the club as he joins Chivalry for $900,000. We now have our final game of the season as we host St. Pauli in the league. For this game, we will continue to line up in that 4-3-3 holding. However, we've made multiple changes to our back line. Mueller will stay in goal. However, Hemmerich and Hanthorts will be playing center backs, and Thomason and Decker will be playing outside backs. St. Pauli will be lining up in a 4-1-4-1, and their left back, Bindhammer, is a player that we currently have out on loan. In the 5th minute, St. Pauli have the ball in our defensive third. We miss a couple of tackles before it's played into their striker, who is able to touch it past Mueller to put St. Pauli up 1-0 in the 6th minute. At full time, we would end up losing to St. Pauli 1-0 after that early goal. We just couldn't create any chances, and it was a loss that we definitely deserved. Cedric de Graaf will be leaving the club once the transfer window opens for $750,000 to join Norwegian side Kristiansund. The final youth player that I will be promoting for this season is Lucas Johnson. He is a 6'3" defensive-minded center mid from Sweden. He is a 55 overall, and he has a potential of 77 to 83. Looking at the league table heading into the month of January, we are currently in 9th place with 24 points, and we are many points off of promotion. However, I feel like we could maybe even move up to 6th or 7th place if we play well enough. I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you want to stay updated on all the videos that I post, you can subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, or you can check out my Instagram at JTB Gaming, and it's JTB Gaming, signing off.
EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game.